Hi Scorpio, here is a general look at your solar chart for May 2013, and before I get into what's happening with the planets, I just want to mention the eclipse. In fact, there's going to be two eclipses in May. One is a solar eclipse, and it's happening in your opposite sign, Taurus, on May the 10th. This will be visible in the southern hemisphere only. But it'll still affect us all in various ways, and this eclipse will particularly affect you Scorpios, also Taurians, Leos and Aquarius, particularly born from the 1st to the 18th, 19th, but in fact the eclipse energy, is going to affect us all, but maybe in slightly lessening degrees, sort of outside of that sort of hotspot area there. And also it can affect anybody who is born in any month between those two dates, or around about those two dates. It alters very, very slightly, a little bit more than the rest of us, but it's not a big sort of deal or anything. And that's the solar eclipse. And if you've got a rising sign with any of the fixed signs, or indeed with any of the signs, but particularly the fixed signs, then that would be between 11 and 27 degrees rising. And for you Scorpios, for the whole of the sign, not just the hotspot area that I've defined there, you will feel a sense of new beginnings in your partnership area, and that can be like working partnerships, as well as the obvious, which is lovers, spouses, close partners, close friends, close family. So all of those are included, but of course it can be any kind of close relationship. So a kind of a new, fresh start energy which comes from the eclipse can be applied to, or through, should I say, that area there. There's also going to be a lunar eclipse, and it's a busy month for eclipses, happening on the 25th. And this will particularly impact the mutable signs, which you're not. And that's going to be Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo and Pisces. And these, wherever you may have those signs in your natal chart, that's where you'll feel the eclipse energy the most. But solar chart astrology can't know that from without seeing individuals' charts. So in general, where the eclipse energy will be impacting the area to do with maybe income, property, resources of various kinds, and this is a much more minor energy than the solar eclipse energy, but if it happens to connect up with an important point in your natal chart, then you feel it a bit more. So this again is a neutral energy. It's not a plus or a minus. It's just a neutral energy of change, which will allow you to ring the changes or to make the improvements. Or in fact, it'll be easier for that change energy, as long as you can direct it with your intention and your will, which you've got in spades, Scorpio. As long as you use it, point it in the right direction for you, and don't do things that are counterproductive, then it can really help you out. So the areas affected will be joint interests with another, anything to do with finances, incomings, outgoings, but also property, possessions, anything to do with any kind of other sort of resource, any kind of territory that you can sort of dig and hoe and make something out of, like assets that you can capitalize on. But also, I said joint interests as well, so it's like you've got to meet the criteria of certain others or another at the same time. You've got this in mind, you've got to, so it can also be about debts due and owed, but also maybe slightly more sensitive matters in the love department or in close relationships. So, as I say, it's a neutral energy. So therefore, it can be quite a positive changing energy. And this energy, both of the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, we'll take the solar eclipse first, can sort of go on for about 6 months, and the lunar eclipse for about a month. So you might be feeling this even now in April, in fact, because some weird thing about eclipses is that they throw their energy before they actually arrive and the actual event physically takes place. So that's about the eclipse. And now for the month, well, until the 21st, it isn't a time to be going alone. The sun is in your opposite sign. It's a great time for you to learn how to get the very best out of cooperative relationships, alliances, but also, you know, relationships close to your heart. So you could be bonding or teaming up, or maybe it's a one-to-one type situation, a working situation, or maybe it's a negotiating type situation. Whatever's going on, the key feature is like mutual interaction with others and bouncing ideas. And this vibration can give love relationships and friendships and family relationships a bit of a boost, because in fact you've got Venus in there until the 10th as well. In fact, you've got quite a bit in there. Mars is there, and Mercury is going to be there for a while. So they whisk through at different timings, and then so yes, sharing joint interest, but really more on the kind of the mental level until after the 21st, when the thing gets more involved. Maybe things become more even intense at times. Maybe that intensity is coming from you, because you are known to be an intense, passionate sign of the zodiac anyway, and you have great resolve and determination, but sometimes you can get a bit blinkered. So you come out of the first area and into the second area, which is about transition. You'll be in that area for a month, and it's transitioning you from one stretch of road to the next. So some things to sort of deal with and then move on during that next area there. Until the 16th, communications, personal, professional, will be around relationships or in relationships, close relationships this is. And as I say, exchanging information, hopefully feeling a mental rapport, being interested maybe in what somebody else has got to say on occasion, but maybe less than impressed, particularly because Mars is in there until the 31st, and Mars can be a little bit confrontational at times, so just watch that you don't come across as being a little bit over the top, maybe crossing swords and being a little bit over assertive, even going into aggressive, or maybe with you'd keep it secret and just kind of mumble to yourself, really. There could be more paperwork involved. It's just that during this time, up until the 21st, or indeed up until the 16th, really, you can get further with whatever is going on for you by teaming up or by getting somebody else on board, somebody who's an information giver, a guide, or just, you know, a support in some way. Then you can do better than you can going it alone. So you need to polish up those people skills. And then from the 16th, discussions, I'm not implying that you don't have them, I'm just saying that, you know, that's the name of the game during that part of the month. It's really up until the 31st, actually, when Mars has left that area, but particularly in the time that the Sun and Mercury and Venus, well, Venus not so much, but Mercury is there. And then from the 16th, discussions and ideas and research tend to be strategic and could reveal things to you, anything that you're delving into, and you've got to dig and delve to get to the bottom line on something. You could be weighing things up, you could be pondering, you could be a little bit, you know, within yourself more, But do trust that gut instinct at this time, Scorpio, because it will serve you well. However, also, you're keeping the lid on certain things and it's a little bit easier to push your buttons. So trying to separate the emotional away from the feeling, which is the intuition. There's two types of feeling, really. There's, don't get the two muddled up. And then from the 31st, right at the end of the month, your mind then opens up into new possibilities, potentials, bigger horizons. You're thinking bigger. You see the sort of overall picture, the eagle eye view. You tend to want to get out of the rut, get out of the mental rut or the emotional rut, whatever it is. You feel expansive. And this is a good time for travel, just getting out and about to places that you don't go normally, or long distance travel, and being interested in what, mixing and mingling maybe with others, got a very different slant on things. And as a matter of fact, that transit of Mercury is going to be there for a very long time. It's going to stay until August the 9th. So that's going to be something that you will get used to. Definitely time to beat the drum, put the word out there on something across a wider stage, but also take in across a wider stage and cast your nets wide. Until the 10th, Venus is in her favorite place in the relationship area along with the Sun. So whatever kind of relationship it is, personal, professional, you should benefit. It should give a boost there from their presence and just the support there. And then from the 10th, Venus moves into an area where you could benefit materially. You benefit but from somebody picking up the tab, as it were, metaphorically speaking, but also literally. So emotionally and materially, it could mean better things, or at least there's a buffer there for you. And you could be feeling like you want to take on more commitment in an emotional sense, but also in a material sort of way as well. And things can become a little bit deeper, you feel things a little bit deeper there. Until the 31st, Mars is in the area that I mentioned to you about the Sun, and it means that because of another's agenda, or because of certain opposite numbers or relationships that you have to be more active, or at least more decisive, more in the lead there. And assertive, but just try not to be too hasty, because Mars can, have you seem to be rather aggressive. So don't dive in head first, don't throw caution to the wind with someone, and definitely don't dance to their tunes so much that you're just tiring yourself out and bending over backwards in a way that's unnatural to you. But overall, cooperating with someone is very, very favored, because you can get a lot further with their help than you can do on your own, and somebody else's feedback or endorsement or rubber stamping or whatever it is, or just, hug can get you further than, you're going to go alone. And then on the 31st, Mars moves out of there and goes into this transitional area, gear change area, where you've got to let go of a previous standpoint or way of thinking or habit. Or, it can be relationship, or it can just be clutter, or it just use streamlining. But you're keeping things to yourself a lot. There's a lot more going on inside of you than people know. And for some of you, it can be quite a sizzly time as well, I have to say, because there's quite a lot of emphasis on that area there, which can be quite a passionate area. But don't hesitate to let go of the old to make space for the new, because that is a gear change moment for you from the 31st. Well, it's from the 21st onwards, really. But Mars moves into there and really stirs the area up from the 31st. Jupiter's still in Gemini until June. This 12-month transit emphasizing your joint financial area. That is good news. It has allowed you to spread out, to expand and grow through the contribution of a partner or some kind of associate or some kind of agency. So it can mean that more money and possessions could have been coming your way or just resources and emotional help coming your way. And you Scorpios born 18th to 17th of November, always 16 to 25 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. In the Saturn cycle, well, there's 2 years left to run. You have to learn to take yourself and your needs more seriously. You've got Saturn in your sign. This is the big one that comes around every 29 years. And you have to learn how to be consistent, how to keep plugging away at something that's important to you, how to keep building and shaping a future that you want, which will lead to a happier, more solvent, more settled existence. Probably a little while after the Saturn transit's finished, you will begin to sort of reap the rewards of that. So this is the time for building new structures, and within that new structure, which forms the armature for a better, more comfortable life, you will be able to thrive. And Scorpios born between the 28th of October to the 1st of November, or with 5 to 9 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And then the outer three planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, if you want to know how they are affecting your sign and which part of your sign they are affecting the most, go to my website and you'll find that written up there. And that's it for May. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to the forecast for those, because it'll just give you another sort of angle on what I've been saying here. And I'll see you the next time.